Oh my goodness. I don't know why I have to start every stream with the on. It just hits me. It just hits me whenever we started. Hello everybody. It's Friday. Woo! Happy Friday. Hope everybody is all wrapped up with their week of work and got your timesheet submitted. You know, ready for a nice warm weekend. Yeah, we got some. You know, oh wow, we're not too far away from Thanksgiving. Only got a couple of weeks till then. That's exciting for getting some free time off. Everybody goes to see their families and whatnot. I heard the airports are a mess right now, and I you know, I've only flown like once as a kid, so I don't really remember it. So I am, you know, I couldn't tell you what the modern airport experience is like. But I've seen online that right now it's pretty terrible, and I'm glad I live right next to all of my family, so I don't have to deal with that. But yeah, some of y'all will probably have some intense travel plans coming up. Yeah, man, so this wasn't too bad of a week for me. I think I feel, you know, more accomplished this week than I did in the last one. Work wasn't as busy, not as overtime demanding. I'll actually get the full weekend to myself this time, and I get to spend some of it with you guys. And isn't that, you know, the most fun part of it? Well, we've got some stuff planned. Dang, I don't have a lot of time left. It took me a long time to get my stuff set up for this stream, and now I don't have a whole lot of time left to stream, but I do have some fun stuff to show you. I took a personality test, and it told me lots of fun and interesting things about myself that even I didn't know. Actually, I didn't know most of it, but I can definitely say that, like, most of it's, you know, accurate, I guess. No. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever tried those out before. This was like, this was a more proper one. You know, this cost a little bit of money, but you know, it's based on the with big five personality types. Let me pull them up so I can get the big five personality traits: openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. And then it just kind of breaks into, you know, a couple of one or two categories within that you know, I guess give a bit more detail description of what's going on. But you know, I thought it was a pretty neat little insight. I definitely found I would say overall pretty accurate aspect of mine. I definitely wasn't taking it in a way that's like, you know, you're trying to get a certain score or a certain type or things like that. So, you know, I would say these are pretty honest responses. And, yeah, so, you know, yeah, let's go ahead and get it started since we don't have a lot of time today. Anyway, let me make sure I do this properly. Yes, where's my character? My character's here. Alright, let me scoot myself a a little over to the corner here. Let's bring up the item here and then the question. Ta-da! My personality test. There it is. I used understandmyself.com, which I had heard good things about, and seems like a pretty reputable place to get that kind of information from. And then I took the test. It was 100 questions. I remember correctly. It was 100 questions, and had a lot. Yeah. I don't know if you want to take a speed on that, Godspeed. It's been well used. Yeah. So let's go ahead and start. I go on through. The Understand Myself Personality Assessment is a report based on the Big Five Aspects scale, the scientific model that describes your personality from the Big Five factors and each of their 2 aspects. This report describes where you stand in comparison to others and the general population on these traits, and it rated me a 32, an agreeableness, which is pretty low. That means I start lots of fights. I don't get along with people well. And they gave me an 80 in extroversion, which I would say is pretty true. I would consider myself the more typical extroverted personality, liking attention and making a lot of friends. You know, be not scared of having the spotlight on me. I got a 1 in conscientiousness. I don't totally understand what conscientiousness is, but you know, we're gonna go through and figure out. But whatever it is, I'm pretty terrible at it. And 96 openness. I would agree with that, and I think this channel reflects it pretty well. I'm a pretty openly actor. It probably doesn't mean like I tell everything about myself, but it's, that's not a bad starting place. And I got a 16 in neurotic. I would say, well, I don't feel like the type of person that's very neurotic, is always worried about things. Yeah, I'm definitely not a worrier. That's true. A little bit to my detriment, I would say. There's things that I probably should worry about more, and I get in trouble for like not paying attention. Well, anyway, so the traits and aspects of the personality are agreeableness is compassion, politeness, conscientiousness, is industriousness, and orderliness. Oh, that makes sense why I failed it. If you could see my desk right now, I would certainly be failing the orderliness. And extroversion, enthusiasm, and assertiveness, yeah. Neuroticism, withdrawal, and volatility, yeah, I would agree with that. Openness, intellect, and aesthetics. Ooh, I wonder what. Aesthetics are nice. I'm not really sure what that means. That we're gonna find out here when we get on. Wait, we're still that. Oh no, I didn't. There we go. The origin. We're gonna figure this out. If I ever spend a lot of time reading stuff, I cannot read very well, and I cannot write very well. I might be dyslexic. I'm not sure yet. It's never been proven in a while. Oh, thank you very much, honorable chatter. In the original Big Five aspects scaled model, the openness factor was entitled Openness to Experience, and aspects were called intellect and openness. Oh yeah, for the sake of clarity, we have deviated from this and use openness or openness to experience to refer to the factor level trait and intellect and aesthetic to refer as the aspects. Okay, that makes sense to kind of help break openness into more specific components. Our systems have compared your self-ratings to those of thousands of other people. You are being compared to men and women of all ages. This means that if you are young, your scores on neuroticism will be higher, and on agreeableness, conscientiousness will be lower than if you were compared to people around age, with the reverse being true for older individuals. For men, their scores on agreeableness and neuroticism would be lower than if they were just compared to other men. Yeah, if you think about it. Yeah, men are typically less agreeable and less neurotic than women on average. And yeah, young people are less agreeable and less conscientious on average than older people. That makes sense. We decided to make their comparison simple so that you know where you stand in comparison to a person with age and sex regarded as irrelevant. Its scores are presented as percentiles. A percentile indicates where you stand on a particular trait with respect to the population. A percentile score of, say, 63 indicates that your score is as high or higher than 63% of the population. That's an important thing to remember. Being number one is actually allowed. What's coming? I was gonna say coming from the sports world, that's the opposite. Not necessarily. A 1 in 4 usually want a high number of points or a low, meaning a low numbered rank. But then you play something like golf and the lowest score wins. No. It depends on your perspective, I guess. What is it in gymnastics? It's your score minus deduction. So you want a low number on your deduction. No? So, kind of a goofy little fun. Where was I? Remember that each personality trait, aspect, more relative position with respect to them, has advantages and disadvantages. It is for that reason that variation exists for the human population. There is a niche for each personality configuration. Much of what constitutes success in life is therefore a consequence of finding the place in relationships, work, and personal commitment that corresponds to your unique personality structure. Good luck with your expanded self-understanding. Note that if you find the descriptions harsher than you might consider appropriate, this may mean that you are more self-critical than necessary when completing your questions. Remember, the results are based on your own self-report compared to that of others. This can occur if we're feeling temporary or chronically anxious or hungry, angry, or judgmental when you completed the test. Then you actually brought that up when I started before I started the personality exam. They were like, okay, you want to take this in like a calm, stable, mental state. Most that stuff. Like, you make sure you have before and you make sure you're not hungry, which, makes sense because I can, in an emotional state, or if you just have to go to the bathroom really bad, you might be answering questions a little differently than if you weren't. Alright, let's move on to the next page. Agreeableness, moderately low. You are moderately low in agreeableness, which is the primary dimension of interpersonal interaction in the Big Five. personality, excuse me, I got a surprise burp. Oh, not turn into hiccups. Do y'all ever have burps turn into hiccups? I feel like that's happening more often. Anyway, wow, which is the primary dimension of interpersonal interaction in the Big Five personality trait scientific model. The two aspects of agreeableness are compassion and politeness. The score puts you at the 32nd percentile for agreeableness. If you were one of 100 people in a room, you would be lower in agreeableness than 67 of them and higher in agreeableness than 32 of them. And, you know, you can clearly see that these apes, they're not chimps. They look closer to a baboon, as to with the more elongated snout. But, you know, you can't really tell without seeing it built. But they seem to be getting along nicely, you know, the little group. Which everybody appreciates. Agreeableness is a very complex trait with marked positive and negative elements along its distinction. Because of this, higher scores and lower scores need to be explained at the same time. People high in agreeableness are nice, compliant, nurturing, kind, naively trusting, and conciliatory. However, because of their tendency to avoid conflict, they often dissemble and hide what you think. Oh, I never thought about that. It's too agreeable. Yeah, you can kind of hide your personality style, and you know, might be willing just to set things as they are, just to avoid conflict. People low in agreeableness were not so dominant, harsh, skeptical, competitive. Yeah, I'm definitely competitive. There's no doubt about that. And in the extreme, even predatory. However, well, people who are naive don't know they're naive. You know, they have to figure that out first. And if you're just being agreeable with everything, you have to figure it out, you know? However, they tend to be straightforward, even blunt, so you know reckless spam. People with moderately low levels of agreeableness are seen by others as somewhat competitive, bolder, and less sympathetic. They are less likely to look for the best in others, and are not particularly tolerant in attitude with much value by agreeable people. They are less concerned about the emotional state of others, willing to engage in conflict, and will sacrifice peace and harmony to make a point or conscientious. Conscientious. To get things done. People find them straightforward, even blunt. They tend towards dominance rather than submission, particularly if you are below average. And neuroticism. Yeah, so a low neurotic, low agreeable person is gonna want to be the one in charge. If you're regularly, that would make sense. People with moderately low levels of agreeableness are not particularly forgiving, accepting, flexible, gentle, or patient. They don't easily feel pity for those who are excluded, punished, or defeated. They are also not easily taken advantage of by disagreeable, manipulative, or otherwise troublesome people, or by those with criminal or predatory intent. You're very agreeable if you take him as particle. Their skepticism plays a role. Their skepticism plays a protective role, although it may interfere with their ability to cooperate with or trust others whose intentions are genuinely good. They can appreciate cooperation, but like competition. Back to that other sentence, I would certainly agree with that, because I have definitely caught myself at moments where I was just, outright refusing genuine help because, I had to do the fake on my own, of course, so I would say that fits. Their skepticism played, they can appreciate cooperation, but like competition with its clear losers and winners. They will not easily lose arguments or avoid discussions with less agreeable people. They tend to be good at bargaining for themselves or at negotiating for more recognition or power. They are likely to have higher salaries and tend to earn more money as consequence. If you're disagreeable and you're going to your boss and you're willing to generate a conflict, demand raise, like that, they are therefore less likely to suffer resentment or harbor invisible anger, although this tendency may be increased if they are very high at neuroticism. In addition, because their tendency to engage in conflict when necessary and moderately disagreeable people not to sacrifice medium to long-term stability and function for the sake of short tactics. This means that problems should be solved in the present, and problems that should be solved in the present do not accumulate counterproductively across them. Yeah, I would agree that I'm mostly a deal with it now kind of person as opposed to a deal with it later. If it's a problem, I would say deal with a problem. It's supposed to deal with a problem. Yeah, I would agree with that. That reminds me, I don't remember what episode it was, but there was a bit where Homer was doing something. Oh, it's the curse, it's the donut. It's when Flanders turned out to be the devil and Homer sold his soul for a donut. But if he didn't finish the donut, then Flanders didn't get his soul, so he left the teeth, there. And, the Flanders said something about, oh no, how are you going to be able to handle your, self in the future? Are you sure you can resist the donut? And he's like, well, that's a problem for the helmet. Present Homer doesn't have to deal with that. That's future Homer's problem. I'm not him, so I don't have a problem. Well, there's a whole nother way to, rationalize something like that. Women are higher in agreeableness than men. In percentile for women in general, in a general population, women and men is 61.5. For men, it is 38.5. So I am below average. Women, significantly below women a little bit. The fact that men are lower in agreeableness than women helps explain their much higher rates of criminal incarceration. 90% males. Calling them out right there. Y'all be getting arrested because you can't be agreeable. The primary difference between criminals and criminals is disagreeableness. If the typical criminal is more disagreeable than 98% the population in the general population, then almost all of those criminals will be out. The difference in agreeableness between men and women is largest in countries such as Norway and Sweden, where the most has been done to ensure equality of outcome between sexes. This provides strong evidence that biological factors rather than environment and learning account for the dissimilarity. Ooh, interesting. More nature than nurture for agreeableness. Agreeableness per se is not strongly associated with political liberalism or conservatism, but this is because the aspects of agreeableness predict such political belief in opposite ways and cancel each other out. Liberals are higher in aspect compared to conservatives. Liberals are higher in aspect compassion and conservatives in aspect politeness. However, alliance with the category of belief that has come to be known as politically correct is strongly predicted by agreeableness, particularly compassion. What this appears to mean is that agreeable people strongly identify with those they deem oppressed, seeing them essentially as exploited infants, and demonize those they see as oppressors, seeing them as cruel, heartless predators. There are large differences between men and women that can respond to key interest. and these also appear associated with agreeable people. Caring as they do for others are more likely to enter professions associated with people, such as teaching and nursing, which are dominated by women. This is true even in the Scandinavian countries, where attempts to produce gender-equal society has met. Interesting. Disagreeable people, by contrast, appear to prefer systemizing over empathizing, and are more interested in things, machines, and technology. In consequence, professions such as engineering and trades associated with construction machinery tend to be dominated by relatively disagreeable men. Compassion. I had typical or average. You are typical or average in compassion. Aspect of agreeableness. The other aspect of agreeableness is politeness. This score puts you at the 48th percentile of compassion. If you were one of 100 people in a room, you would be higher in compassion, 48 of them, and lower in compassion than 51 of them. I'm right down the middle of compassionate. I am averagely compassionate. Come to me with a medium problem. I will compassionate for you. People who are typically compassionate are reasonably interested in problems of other people and other things. They are somewhat concerned about helping other people, avoid negative emotion, but are willing to stand their ground even when others get upset. I agree with that. They make time to do things for others, but balance that with fulfilling their own needs and interests, as they have a soft side, but are not pushovers. The other people consider them reasonably sympathetic and nice, and will sometimes turn to them for a listening ear. They can be empathetic, caring, however they are not primarily oriented, but they can negotiate effectively on their own path. This helps ensure that they will get what they deserve and shields them from the development of resentment. Those who are liberal politically are higher in compassion than conservatives. Women are also higher in compassion than men. The mean percentile for women in the general population is 61. For men, it is 63. I am below average for women. I am above average for men, but right on average overall. This is what killed my score. Low politeness. I am a very rude person. I don't door open for anybody. I don't, place that napkin in my lap when I go eat. I am frequently yawning or belching in public. Bring it on, polite society. You are low in politeness. Politeness is an aspect of agreeableness. The other aspect of agreeableness is compassion. Your score puts you at the 21st percentile of politeness. You are one of 100 people around. You would be lower in politeness than 78 of them, higher in politeness than 21 of them. People who are low in politeness are not deferential to authority, nor are they obedient. Oh man, they'll be calling me out like that. And my lack of respect to authority. And complete refusal to follow the rules of people that are in charge. No way, that doesn't sound like me at all. They can be respectful, but only to people who fully deserve and demand it. They are markedly willing to push back when challenged. They are not particularly uncomfortable confronting other people. You got me off that one. People low in politeness are not motivated to avoid conflict or steer clear of conflict or fights. They may find themselves quite frequently in trouble with authority. Their skepticism may make it difficult for them to find a place in the middle or lower in hierarchies of power, and they tend to strongly be dominant rather than submissive, particularly in neuroticism. Those who are liberal politically score somewhat lower in politeness than conservatives, the opposite pattern seen in passion. Women are higher in politeness than men. The percentile for women in general is 59. For men, it is 41. So I am starkly unpolite. Population. Impolite. It's impolite, isn't it? Not unpolite. There we go. Conscientiousness. Exceptionally low. There's a fail on that one. You're exceptionally low at conscientiousness, which is the primary dimension of dutiful achievement in the Big Five personality trait scientific model. Your score puts you at the first percentile of conscientiousness. If you were 1 in 100 people in a room, you will lower conscientiousness from 98 of them and higher in conscientiousness than 1. Conscientiousness is a measure of obligation, attention to detail, hard work, persistence, timeliness, efficiency, and adherence to the rules, standards, and processes. There's a lot of habits that I do not do very well. Conscientious people implement their plans, establish and maintain order. The two aspects of conscientiousness are in the freest possible order. That's not. Can you feel exceptionally low in conscience as might considered as a virtue or an obligation? Instead, they regard those who slog away diligently their tasks as suckers, nature's pets, and bootlickers. They will not even work hard if directly and continually pushed by outside forces. Man, don't call me out. They can be exceptionally skilled at wasting time, slacking off, and justifying. They are most certain to procrastinate, particularly if they are also above average in neuroticism. Even if they do commit to doing something, they will be late or delayed, even when there is absolutely no reason for failing to deliver. They inevitably formulate and deliver excuses for failure under such circumstances. I am not a lucky. I might be a lazy bone. I will say, I'm not lazy when I'm internally motivated. Usually when I'm externally motivated, I'm pretty lazy. They inevitably formulate and deliver for the failure under such circumstances, much misinformation for their problems with the task, and completion. They are not all decisive, neat, organized, teacher-oriented, or reliable, can refine themselves quickly and continually distracted. Oh man, this is talent. This is pretty telling. People with exceptionally low levels are very likely to obtain poor grades, particularly if they are also less intelligent, and require far too much supervision if they opt out. For this reason, they make poor managers and administrators, and are not compelled to do things by blood. However, this can perhaps be managed if they are engaged in creative tasks where rules must be broken for advancement to take place. Exceptionally unconscientious people will not make a primary goal. That is the positive, is that green task. Exceptionally unconscientious people will not make a primary goal of career or education or accomplishment in general, turning instead to the pursuit of safety and security if high in neuroticism, creative accomplishment if high in openness, establishment of intimate relationships and friendships if highly agreeable, or social success, excitement, and fun if extroverted. Such people are the very opposite of achievement-oriented. Oh man, this is the total. I'm not joking. Not saying that this is really on target. Like the pursuit of career and education accomplishments, I have no motivation for. The pursuit of safety and security, I don't have the motivation for it either, because I'm not a neurotic and don't worry about the future. A pursuit of creative accomplishment is absolutely sure we can stop very eyes and openness, and that's like literally that's what I want to do is be able to crack up creative achievements in as many fields as I can. That's despite the talents that I wish to pursue. The establishment of intimate relationships and friendships is highly agreeable. I don't know. I don't see, having a friend count or a successful relation. I don't. That's why I don't really, date or in social successes, excitement, fond factors, I am all of excitement. There is no doubt about that. What's the just Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. People negative or people except glowing tend to be tend to be almost completely free of guilt, shame, self-disgust, and self-contempt. You cannot guilt me into things. That's so true. Other people, however, are almost certain to react negatively to their tendency to slack off and avoid responsibility, particularly if those other people are disagreeing with conscientious. Individuals who are reading. No, I'm so hungry. Individuals who are exceptionally low in conscientiousness appear completely unconcerned by failure. Yeah. They are not at all judgmental for themselves or others, and easily and quickly find and calculate situational explanations for every instance of disappointment, frustration, or lack of success. Oh yeah, I can talk my way out of disappointment in 3 seconds. Handle periods of inactivity, unemployment with total ease, chronically and habitually downplay the relationship between hard work, diligence, and success, insisting instead that chance factors of luck in life only deter your goals. That's right, you're successful because of how you work. Or you didn't earn it. Oh no. Oh. They can be exceptionally good at relaxing. Wait, I have backed it up. They live only for leisure and very much look forward to dilemma. Yes, but I can say that's true for a lot. You don't have to be incredibly low in conscientiousness to keep looking forward to your time off. They can be exceptionally good at relaxing, being easy at the moment, particularly low in neuroticism. They are concerned with cleaning, moral purity, achievement, and it's far more fun to be at the peace. Or at a party with a person exceptionally low in consciousness, but you don't want to invite them over on moving day or any other time when something important has to be done and done on time. The people exceptionally low in conscientiousness are much more likely to be on rules rather than conservatives. This is particularly true if they are also high in openness. Women are slightly more conscientious than men. The percentile for women is 51.5. For men, it is 49.5. I am at the bottom of the barrel. Let's see why. Industriousness exceptionally low. I got a 2. I got a 2. Oh no. Your score puts you at the 2nd percentile. If you were 1 out of 100 people, 97 of them would be more industrious, 2 of them would be less industrious. People who are exceptionally low in industriousness are extremely unlikely to be successful in school and administrative managerial positions. I broke word for bit. I figured it broke. But sad. Easily distracted. There you go. If they are highly intelligent, almost certainly regarded as underachievers by themselves. He can be one. They don't regard work as worthwhile or worthwhile, procrastinate, miss deadlines, or failed complete assignments for projects completely. They shirk all responsibility, concentrating on fun, worry, relationships, excitement, or creative endeavor. We are not concerned with or interested with scheduled timelines or efficiency and are unlikely to complete their tasks, even if supervised successfully. They lack focus and are far too easily and distracted. People, okay, as a sidebar though, I want to say this, like, because I hear, a lot of people blame these things on, having ADHD and autism, with their inability to focus and things like that. It's like, man, it's kind of a personality thing too. It's not like you were cured of ADHD, autism, that you wouldn't still have this inability to focus or plan or care about the future. Like, it's also a personality trait. I think that's something that gets left out a lot. People exceptionally low in industriousness critical themselves or others. They continually and habitually let people, including themselves, on the basis that people fail not because they don't apply themselves to work hard, but because chance and luck play the only determining role. They are very resistant to guilt, self-content, totally laissez-faire. Whatever will be attitude with life. Those who are liberal and those who are conservative appear equally industrious. There's slightly more than women, 51 women, 40 men. Yeah. Exceptionally low orderliness. Fourth percentile. People exceptionally low in orderliness are never disturbed, upset, or disgusted by mess, disorder, chaos. They appear almost completely blind to such things, or if they do see them, they don't fear at all. I keep a slightly clean, apartment. I'm not a total exponent. There are a lot of messes that I don't really care about. It has to get to a higher level of nasty than what my parents would have appreciated. They see the world in shades of gray, never simple, straightforward, black, white, and are extremely non-judgmental, devil-maker in their attitudes towards themselves and others. They are contemptuous toward and positively hate schedules, lists, or routines, and even if they plan, they never implement those plans, preferring to take things as they come and letting chance determine their outcome. Oh my god, yes. I 100% agree with that. Every single time I got handed a planner in school and I was supposed to write down what I was gonna do for my week and things like that, I hated it and I've never used them. And that is completely true. They are not oriented towards detail in any way and simply never abide by procedure. Yeah. People are exceptionally low in order, cannot tolerate or establish routine or predictability. Their schedules are artfully loose, their time completely unscheduled, and disruption doesn't bother them in the least. Big time. They require continual and often a reminder to maintain attention. They can, however, tolerate the mess, disruption, and intervening periods of chaos that may accompany a creative endeavor. You are much less likely to be politically conservative. Orderliness was the second best predictor of conservatism after openness. Women are more orderly than men. 54.5 for women, 45.5 for men. This may account for some of the trouble in relation to housework between men. As women are on average more orderly. Household sort of culturing disgust and discomfort in faster. This may happen with sufficient frequency, so they end up doing disproportionate share of work, even though they waited a bit longer. Their left orderly part, often men equally troubled, motivated to fix the problem. Orderly people are more likely to have items such as calendars, drawer organizers, locker baskets, binding boards, and immediate environments. I'd absolutely contain one laundry basket and nothing else. I'm high in extrovert. The primary dimension of positive emotions, the big five. Extroversion is a measure of general sensitivity to positive emotions such as hope, joy, anticipation, and approach, particularly in social situations. Two aspects are enthusiasm, the service, and the EF percentile for extroversion. Since extroversion and introversion are poles that, the ends of the spectrum for this trait, you can also think of yourself as being very low introvert. Fair. For people with high levels of extroversion, they are comparatively enthusiastic, confident, assertive in social situations, and gregarious. I haven't had to use the word gregarious for a long time. That's a fun word. They are typically energized by social contact, brave it, they take great pleasure in parties, telling jokes, making people laugh, and taking part in community activities. They are likely to have positive memories of the past, high levels of self-esteem, particularly if they are low in neuroticism, and to feel positive and optimistic about the future. Very glass half full kind of person. People who are highly extroverted have difficult time keeping things to themselves. They tend to tell everyone everything. They are self-disclosing, particularly silent by in neuroticism. They warm up quickly to other people. They tend to speak first, and most often in meetings they can be captivating. I think they will often be the first to act. High in extroversion make up enthusiastic ways and are well suited to jobs involving sales, persuasion, working in groups, and public speaking, particularly, once again, if they are low neuroticism. They are not suited to occupations that require a lot of isolated work, such as computer programming or accounting. The problem is none of the things, especially like sales jobs, very low interest to me because of my low industriousness, conscientiousness, or elderliness, whatever that one was. People high in extroversion can be impulsive, particularly when it comes to having fun in social situations. They are more likely than average to sacrifice the keeper of the present when something social or group-oriented back in... It sounds like you're a little introverted over there. This is somewhat difficult for the... What was I saying? It is somewhat difficult for them to be alone, study, don't want to work. They can be easily distracted, opportunities to chat, jokes, socialize. This is particularly the case. They are also low in interestedness. I have a bad combo there. Individuals are extroverted and conscientious. They are more productive than if they are introverted and conscientious. However, when they are introverted and conscientious and unconscientious, they are more productive than when they are extroverted. It's interesting. People high in extroversion are more dominant in social situations. If they are low in agreeableness, less agreeable extrovert, and to be self-centered, something that can be made worse if they are also low in conscientious. Oh no, thank you at all. I'm self-centered because I'm unagreeable, unconscientious, and actively extroverted. Oh no, I might be diagnosed selfish. Those who are politically liberal are slightly more extroverted than conservatives. Women, averages 52, male averages. Enthusiasm, high. This is money. Extroversion, 92nd percentile of enthusiasm. Uncommonly excitable. Happy and easy to get to know. They will talk very rapidly about everything, particularly in other people. They laugh or giggle frequently. They must be around people and this all the time, and they love parks. True. Except it's really gotta be what the caveat I would put is that it's gotta be with people. No, I don't necessarily just extrovert all over strangers right away. They cannot keep people at a distance. They keep nothing private. Very positive and optimistic, warm, very quickly to other people, love and crave stimulation, excitement, activity, and fun. Enthusiastic people are gregarious, encouraging, and people-loving. We are strikingly positive about what might happen next. Enthusiasm is not strongly associated with preference. Women average is 55, men average is 45. Assertiveness is 52. I'm a little more on the line to that one. Average assertiveness will sometimes take charge spontaneously, but often let others step in first. They can step forward. Do that hands-on extrovert on people without consent. Come over here. Come over here, stranger. I'm about to extrovert up. They can put forward their own opinions, but do not feel compelled to do so. They are particularly dominant and do not generally strive. Control self-esteem. I would agree with this. Like, I'm a very positive person, but I'm like, I'm not going to go first. I'm like number 2, you know. But I'm a very positive number 2. They can act influential or be a captivating manner, but it's not habitual. They act in ambiguous situations, but will often let others lead the way, not be particularly impulsive, and tend not to act without thinking. Liberals tend to be slightly less assertive than conservatives. For women, the average is 48, the average is 52. So, in the middle, right? Yeah, right, middle. I would say this might have, since I took this, these might be 3 years old. It's not really gonna tank that much, but I would say that I have intentionally tried to take on more leadership qualities since I took this. So yeah, that might have changed a little. Low in neuroticism, or the dimension. Neuroticism is a measure of general sensitivity, negative emotions such as pain, sadness, irritable or defensive anger, fear, and anxiety. The 2 aspects of neuroticism are withdrawal and volatility. At least 10 percentile. People with low levels of neuroticism rarely focus on elements, anxieties, and uncertainties of the past, present, and future. I would agree there. Anyway, wrap them to face periods of time where they are happy, anxious, irritable, unless something serious. 15 problems. Even under the latter conditions, they cope well, tolerate too much, and recover quickly with stress. They are good at keeping their head in a storm and seldom make mountains out of ill health. Bullifoods. They tend to have much higher levels of self-esteem, particularly when they are also average or above average in temper. They are low risk for developing anxiety disorders and depression. Yeah. When good things happen to them, people with low levels of neuroticism can accept it without questioning whether or not they deserved it. They are usually satisfied with doing it. Overall, they are tolerant of stress and accept failure and setback as part of life. Low levels of neuroticism are associated with decreased concern about mental and physical health, much fewer physician and emergency room visits, and reduced absenteeism at work and school unless accompanied by very low levels of conscientiousness. I would say my conscientiousness, does not outweigh my low neuroticism. That would be my statement there. Because I do not have high levels of absenteeism, but I definitely don't have the emergency round or kitchen visits unless my extroversion leads me to do something that puts me in the hospital. People with low levels of neuroticism are substantially better without becoming unduly concerned. They're rarely concerned with security or easily available. Yeah, it would be interesting to compare. I think I would wait a little longer. I would probably give this a year or 2 before I compared it against this. I guess I'll let 5 years separate between tests. They are rarely concerned with security, more a recreational career, financial situation, for the possibility of loss higher. Decline, have a high risk tolerance. I've definitely been accused of doing high risk things and feeling like it wasn't that big of a deal. They find considering as well. I've been around, well, product that, like, while I was doing kindness activity, like, I picked some people up about once, and I was climbing around on the ledges and flying stuff. That was definitely more dangerous than the average bear. But the people that I was with were much more neurotic than I was. When they couldn't stop calm on me, they were like, "You gotta get down. You can't do that. You know, you're making me nervous. You gotta stop that." And I'm like, "What? Why? This is fine." Yeah, it didn't bother me, but it bothered them that I was even doing that. They find considering as well as implementing other changes and other transformations that could enhance their lives much less stressful. Neuroticism is not a powerful predictor of blood couple. Females tend to be higher in neuroticism than males, is higher in neuroticism than 60% of the general population of men and women combined. In part, this may be why women report more unhappiness in their relationships, at work, and schools, with their health than men on average, why women indicate 70% of all divorces. This difference in neuroticism between men and women appears to occur to puberty, or just countries such as plain Sweden, where the most has been sure equal outcome between sexes. It provides strong evidence that biological and learning account for these. Interesting. Withdrawal low 15. Low withdrawal early septor. I anticipatory and I definitely don't have anxiety. It can remove with certain unexpected situations. Well, they are transferred less withdrawal in the face of unexpected. People with low levels of withdrawal tend not to feel sad, some disappointed and grief-stricken, and if they do, not deeply for too long. They experience much lower than normal levels of doubt, worry, embarrassment, self-consciousness, and discouragement, and face in the face of threat and punishment. They are quite resistant and rarely worried about social rejection and rarely feel hurt or threatened. The worst she can say is no. It's true. Even when actually hurt, frightened, anxious, they recover easily and quickly. People with low levels of withdrawal are not worriers. Technically, withdrawal has been associated with activity in the brain systems that regulate passive avoidance. People who are liberal politically are slightly higher withdrawal and conservative. For women, the average is 60. For men, the average is 40. Volatility low, yep. 21%, 21st. Individuals with low volatility, yep. Stable, predictable in their moods. They are not irritable and feel much less disappointment, frustration, pain, loneliness. People find them easy to get along with and can often be lax around them. They rarely express their frustration, disappointment, irritability, and appear reasonable. They do so. On the reputation, they become stirred up, upset, irritated. They calm down quickly. They are much less argumentative and than ever, and rarely lose their composure. If thoroughly provoked in a dispute, bursts of volatility may react in time, particularly if also low in agreeableness. However, people remain calm but stressed. I would say I don't react, even in agreeableness. Typically, people tend to get upset if something bad does happen, while people high withdrawal. The other aspect of neuroticism concern that something bad might. Technically, volatility has been associated with regulating the brain systems that regulate fight, flight, or freeze. Volatility is not strictly related to medical preference. Women are higher in volatility than men, 7.5, 42.5. Openness exceptionally high. Yeah. which is the primary extension of creativity, autistic interest, intelligence, particularly verbal intelligence. I don't know, because I don't speak very well. I might have to disagree with now. Openness is a measure of interest in novelty, art, literature, abstract thinking, philosophy, as well as sensitivity to aesthetic passions and beauty. The two aspects of openness are input and aesthetic. Your score is the 96th. Wow. That is very open. People with exceptionally high levels of openness are almost always characterized by others as extremely smart, creative, exploratory, intelligent. Definitely exploratory. Definitely working my way into places I'm not. Oh man. They are extremely interested in learning and are constantly acquiring new abilities and skills. They're extremely curious, got ahead of the buck. Yeah, oh, thanks for listening. Oh. Thank you. Being like curious exploratory, they're exceptionally interested in abstract thinking, philosophy, of the meaning of belief systems and ideologies. They live for cultural events such as movies, context, dance recitals, plays, poetry readings, gallery openings, and art shows. I've never been to a gallery opening or poetry. I haven't really. I don't think I've been to any, like, computers. Should have been. Or art. I mean, I really see that show. Probably. I don't know. I'll have to think. I don't know. I don't really like being a art show. I've been taken. No, I say this. Yeah, I've been taken or I've never sought out an art show. Yeah, very likely to enjoy writing, or even being driven to write. I disagree. I don't like writing at all. They enjoy complex, abstract ideas and people we love to confront and solve complex, abstract, multi-dimensional problems. I'm playing 4D chess all day, guys. Yeah, now. I did watch Interstellar this week. Maybe does that count as like loving complex abstract problems? They are almost always prolific readers. They are interested in the aspect of topics. I'm not a great reader either. That's kind of funny. They have exceptionally broad. I really, boy, that's not pretty. I disagree. Oh, I disagree. They can think and learn remarkably quickly. They are usually proficient in formulating new ideas. They can be exceptionally articulate. Well, you can hear my voice right now and thought you probably or particularly is average or above average in extroversion. People exceptionally high in openness and see all things in remarkable ways. They can think outside of the box when they hear or come up with an idea. Many other ideas aren't usually triggered. I would agree with that in a weird way. The way that I would say is represented for me is that if I hear somebody say something that is the same line, like a reference, or even if it's just mildly related, I will not only think of the reference to the Family Guy episode, I will think of the entire episode and 2 or 3 other references to other shows that are similarly related to it. That's the ideas that are triggered in my brain. They can formulate any single problem in an exceptionally diverse range of ways. They can generate, like how to get out of doing work. But you have to no. They can generate a tremendously large problem-solving solutions. They will constantly seek change, often to make things better, but also just for the sake of change. People who are exceptionally high in openness are poorly adapted to and do not do well in situations or occupations that are routinized and predictable. I would agree. They fit badly at the bottom of hierarchies. They are usually entry-level, repetitive, rote positions because they're always thinking of new ways to do things, and such kids are seldom welcomed from some kind of bottom. You know, it's really funny, and that's a combination of, like, my low conscientious stars I should be in higher positions or in charge of people at work, but my high, what is this? Openness says I should be. They are extremely radical thinkers. Radical, dude, pretty radical. We shake things up, particularly if they are also disagreeable and assertive. They are likely to be rapidly higher up, particularly if average below. Individuals exceptionally high and open are entrepreneurial in spirit as well as smart and random. Well, I don't know about entrepreneurial. Okay, for me, they can be overwhelmingly interested in creating new ventures, sometimes for profit, sometimes for curiosity, mostly for curiosity for me, and sometimes for personal transformation. Exceptionally high levels of openness appear necessary to the formation and leadership of business and other forms of complex organizations, although consciousness appears required for the attention to detail to process management, as which organizations also always be. Well, what that sounds to me is like I should be yes. I'm just the idea guy. You know, yep, you go do it. Yeah, just call one of those mad. Because people are exceptionally high in openness, are interested in absolutely everything. Oh, I know it. That might be the most true statement about and this whole thing. People who are exceptionally high are interested in absolutely everything. Yeah. I think that is the most true statement out of this whole thing. They can find it hard to settle on the single path life, specialize in a necessary degree, and to create created identity. Excuse me. This is particularly dangerous if they are above average in neuroticism and below average in conscientiousness. Well, I have two for that. People characterized by combination of high openness and high neuroticism constantly undermine their convictions, high incessant questioning, and make themselves soft and anxious. Open, unconscientious people be underachievers, particularly if also above average in neuroticism. Said people appear to have the capability to succeed quickly and are creative, but they seldomly implement their own lives. Openness is the dimension that has predict political allegiance, with conscientiousness, particularly in the aspect of orderliness, coming in that place. Those who are liberal politically are very much more likely to be high in openness than conservatives. Women and men differ very little in openness and drink open. There are differences in the aspect. I need water. Oh my goodness. Intellect very high. 94th percentile. Do not confuse the personality aspect of intellect with IQ. Intellect is a measure of interest in abstract ideas, essentially while IQ is a measure of processing speed, verbal ability, working memory, and problem-solving capacity, and is better measured with the formal. It is perfectly possible to have a high IQ and a low score on the personality trait of intellect. How many people do you think got offended by the fact How many people do you think got offended by you're a low intellect personality? Wait, no, I've got like a 180 in Mensa. Is Mensa still a thing? Oh no. People very high in intellect are notably interested in ideas as abstract concepts. Oh my goodness. They crave exposure to novel information. Even when it is complex, they are highly curious and exploratory, and they actively want to find, tackle, and solve challenging problems. They will much more frequently seek out and initiate issue-oriented discussions and are very likely to read. think about and want to discuss idea-centered books, generally non-fiction. I disagree with the book part. I read all fiction. They are markedly articulate, can formulate ideas clearly and quickly, particularly average or higher extrovert. I don't know about that. I'm more of the present my idea by like, hey, no, about this. I thought about this fit in like honestly, I do feel like we're like, I wish I could just like grab somebody else's brain, teleport my idea into their brain. So it would be so much easier to understand what I'm talking about. They are markedly articulate and formulate ideas clearly and quickly, particularly if average or higher extrovert. They have a broad and wide vocabulary that usually multiply things. People very high in intellect will constantly find and generate novel, creative concepts, and voluntarily search for and adapt very well to experiences and situations. People very high in intellect find complex, rapidly changing occupations necessary and will generally excel at them. Particularly, they are also high in conscientiousness and low in neuroticism. And that is where I fail. However, they are very much left suited to stable, straightforward, and more traditional occupations where the rules will change and will experience frequent periods of boredom and intolerable levels of frustration in such positions. Liberals are higher in intellect than conservatives. The biggest difference between the two is openness. Women are lower than men in intellect, although not in IQ. This is probably a difference in interest. People high in intellect compared to Hispanics more likely to prefer the sciences and the arts. A mean percentile for women in a general population is 45, for men it is 55. Aesthetics. Very high. You hear that, chat? I am highly aesthetic. 90th percentile. In the original Big Five model, the openness factor was entitled openness to experience, and its aspects were called intellect and openness. For the sake of clarity, we have deviated from this openness, or openness to experience, to refer to the factor level created in intellect and aesthetics to refer to its aspects. Generally speaking, a person's aesthetic score reflects their creativity. People who are very high in aesthetics about beauty. They require an outlet for their creative ability, or they cannot thrive. They need to be surrounded by art or beautiful crafts. They are, I mean, honestly, at my cubicle at work, it's covered in artwork, and like, quite the variety of artwork, too. I have pictures or flags covering just about every piece of wall that I have art. Yep, I would call that true. Even my desk is covered in artwork, like all the desk mats and stuff. Surrounded by art or beautiful crafts. They are strikingly sensitive to color and architectural form. But I'm colorblind, so no, I guess half of that. You're very much like to collect things now, and then to point, and that now they're very much like to collect, and then to the point of obsession. That's true for my video games. So, thankfully smart enough not to go Bronco. They are strikingly sensitive. They much likely. They are very imaginative. Love to daydream, but like that thing's very true. I daydream a lot. And my night treats are incredibly detailed, and I have a lot of going on. They are uncommonly affected by music, maybe musical or artistic styles. Both of these are rare in the general population. Right, yeah. I mean, like I've said before, I've been inspired for a long time. I'd learn hunch. I would agree with that. They can get unusually immersed and affected by music, especially because there's music I like that's just sounds. I like music. I like songs, and I like genres. But there's also, like, pieces of music broken down even more, and there's just particularly musical sounds that I really, really, really like. And, you know, and that's something that I kind of pursue a little bit. I'm like, curious music, that into stuff. Yeah. They can get unusually immersed in a book or a movie or their own thoughts and become oblivious to the outside world. Yeah. Respond very strongly to beauty, creativity, art. They can be impractical and flighty, particularly if low in conscientiousness. It can be extremely difficult to transform creativity into money or into a career. Yeah, that's true. High levels of creativity are furthermore necessary for the entrepreneurial success and often prove useful at the top of hierarchies. Even in very conservative occupations, such as banking, accounting, and law, which need creative people in leadership positions to provide new vision direction. I don't know. I'm not sure if you would want to work at a creative banker. That sounds like a bad idea. He's creative with his books. Like, liberals are higher in aesthetics than conservatives. Some of the biggest difference between the two is, but yes, women are higher than in aesthetics than men. The mean percentile for women in general is 56.5. For men, it is 44.5. And that's it. That is my complete personality test. So now you know everything about me. Isn't that exciting? Alright, well, speaking of extroversion and openness, I have to go out. Well, no, I don't even have what I want to. I'm going out there for tonight, so I guess I'll end this for New Year and see you guys later. Okay.